It's time to wake up, pay attention. Magu Zian Sho, divine marijuana brings immortality. So, you came to learn my Kung Fu. Ah, 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 ah. I guess I have to teach you something. But first, I will teach you something. Oh, I just said that. Bam. We call this the sacred pipe. And what do we use the sacred pipe for? We use it to smoke the holy herb. And we light the sacred pipe. And no, we don't light the pipe. We light the holy herb with hemp string. So I've given you enough time to go get your pipe, not a blunt, not a joint. Get your small bowl pipe, and then get your holy herb, marijuana. You take a little bit out in you. I know. I'm doing this like I'm talking to chitlins. You take the holy herb and you stuff it in your pipe, trying not to spill it all over the floor. But it's a little tiny. Look, it's a little tiny bowl, little tiny bowl because I don't need a whole blunt, $5 blunt, just to get a buzz for 5 minutes. You youngins have no concept of the value of things, and most don't have any knowledge of the value of this holy herb, this holy herb, not weed. So now I'll say it over and over again. When the plant is growing, the cannabis plant, cannabis means that there's the female side and the male side together. And then at a certain point, you have to split them apart so that the female becomes marijuana and the male becomes hemp. So, in our smoking, right now I'm getting ready to do what we would call recreational smoking, but I got a little holy in there. So, it within our bodies, when we smoke with the hemp string. So now, by smoking the female marijuana and lighting it with the hemp string, I am combining the male and female parts of the cannabis plant back together within my body. Now it's not just a plant anymore. It's not just marijuana. It's not just hemp. They come together within my body. Now they become bio, my body, part of my body, the bio. So the living part attaches itself, the best word I could think of right away, to the smoke that you pull into your lungs. So intention, and life force becomes a part of the smoke. So whatever intention you have at the time, that is what you put out on the smoke. So that is also what makes it holy, because if you have the intention of prayer, for instance, like if you light an incense, you pray and the smoke rises from the incense, and somewhere in your subconsciousness or consciousness you're thinking, well, with the smoke rising, it also my prayers are rising with the incense smoke. It's the same idea, except probably a lot more deeper, because now you're pulling the smoke into your lungs, and the smoke is a part of you, your intentions, your bio, electromagnetism is a part of the smoke now. Now the intention, your prayer or whatever it is on the smoke. When you blow it out and it goes out into the room and dissipates and get finer and finer and rise higher and higher, we say that it's rising to the most high, the most high, which you might call God. Let's light. I gave you enough god dang nabbit time. Let's light the holy herb. Now, this is usually called hemp, the male side, but in our temple, church, house, we give the male side, because the female side always has a name. In Chinese, it's Ma Gu. In ancient Kemet or Egypt, on the other side of the room, where I teach at night, the female side of the name is named Sishat. And then, Hebrew, it should be Sakina. So on and on, because it's always the female side of the plant. But the male side of the plant is just called hemp or whatever. Now in Chinese, they both called Magu. But again, we separate the two here. So we call the hemp, the male side of the plant, Nagarjuna. And if you don't know the story of Nagarjuna, which is southern China, we're going to talk about that. But for right now, let's light. See, this is hemp string with wax on it, so it stays lit. And you don't have to go through any ritual. You just so. Every time I explain this little ritual that I do at the beginning of the video, at the beginning of the video, sometimes it catch me. This little ritual that I do at the beginning of the video, every time I do it, I realize, oh, there's another part. Really, I really tried to make a really simple Kung Fu system, blah, blah, blah. But I kept finding out more and more. So anyway, the other part of the ritual that I do at the be, at the beginning of the videos is my hand formations. Now again, I've already explained some of it, but then I looked at it, my video, and I realized there's other things to explain about those hand movements that I do. So this is the opening that I usually do at the beginning, the ritual that I do at the beginning of the videos. First, left hand and right hand at the bottom, and then they switch because left hand is yin, so it's on the bottom, and right hand is above, it's yang, so it's above. So what I am actually doing, because I have tried to incorporate um, real science into the kung fu, and we're going to talk about that more when we get into this side of the wall, the DNA of the kung fu and all that good stuff. So this part represents what I call the shield. So let me turn y'all back this way, a little something, something. So when you, this is the shield in here. For instance, with me, I'm only this big. My shoulders stop here. My head is here. So that's all I have to protect. I don't have to block what they call blocking way out here. Why do I have to block way out here when I'm just protecting this in here? That's all I need to move. I don't need to block and block way. Yar! 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 No. So me myself, I'm skinny, but no matter how big you are, all you have to do is block the size of whatever your body is. You understand? You don't have to go way out here, and now all this is open for somebody to just fuck it up. You understand? You're like, yo, oh, yo, oh, yo, yo. You understand? So, we want to keep our defense in tight. You understand? I'm not going to get into that right now. What I wanted to talk about was what I am doing in those three movements that I do at the beginning of. So the first one here actually represents the shield. In Tai Chi, this would be the shield. This is like if a punch is coming to me this way, this is out, out, you know. So I don't need to go out here. It's just, I don't need to be down here. I just want to be just as high as my eyebrows, not higher. and not lower, about the height of my eyebrows. So I can protect all this. That's all I need to do. So this is out, this is in. You see what I'm saying? The shield, it's the protective or defensive movement because we don't block. Well, in Tai Chi, they don't call it blocking. We neutralize. Because I want to stay in contact with you. I'll get into all that later. So, neutralize. Out, in. It's the shield. That's this movement. The shield. The next movement is we call the wheel. So, from the shield to the wheel. So, the wheel is going this way or this way. So this way could be, say, punches. Now, if people want to know how to punch fast, you don't come from back here and try to punch over here. You're already out here. It's just little short punches that'll make them fast. But you learn to punch short, power with power. You understand? Not from way back here. You know, a quick person is gonna see the punch coming really slow, and you know this one is kind of hard because what the brother say that you know it's kind of hard to see this one because it's coming straight, but you're gonna see all this rest of this stuff. So we have this way of the wheel, and then we have this way, which would be again neutralizing. So if a punch is coming this way, I'm using this part of my fist to neutralize incoming blows. So that's two applications of the wheel. Punches. We're gonna get into this. We're gonna get into that. And then neutralization. This is steam. We're gonna get into that. And then at the last part, is like a literal representation of what the system is based on, which is right there in the green book, Magu. Now, Magu in this Tao mythology um, brings a tray. This is a unique hand of my system. I'm going to get into it. So she holds the tray. So this hand, the left hand, represents the tray. And on top of the tray, she brings the elixir of immortality to the sages, to the immortals. You know, all these people gather every 800 years on mountain or Mount Kunlun or Kunlun Shan every 800 years, and Margot was made an immortal because she was making this elixir of immortality out of cannabis. She made a wine out of cannabis because she was invited to come hang out with the immortals, and she was like, well, what am I going to bring? That's my Margot voice. And so she was a grower of cannabis. Duh, she was like, oh, she decided to make some wine, so she brought the wine on a tray. We're gonna get into the tray. We're gonna get into the flask. It looks something like the drunken Kung Fu, but it's about the elixir of immortality. Yeah, we're gonna get into the real. When we get into the kitchen, we're gonna get into the real elixir of immortality. This is no bullshit. This is not me making this shit up. I just gathered the information. This is some real shit. Real shit. Real. So anyway, so she brings the elixir of immortality. Now this hand on top of Margot hand, on top of the tray is not Margot. It's the tray that she's holding, the left hand. And the right hand makes this circle here. I know somebody gonna be, that's, isn't that Illuminati or something like that? You dumb anyway. And then these three fingers, these two together, the circle and these three fingers, represent the elixir of immortality. So what I mean is, this is going to represent the tray. Now, again, this is a unique hand in this system of Kung Fu because it's a knife hand, but we're going to learn to use it this way in certain moves after the fist in the form of no form. So anyway, this hand represents the elixir itself. So what we have here, these three fingers here represent, okay, we start at the lowest level, which is Jing, or basically essence or sexual energy, male, female, whatever, sexual energy, period. Jing, the stuff that keep you alive and going. And when you get my age, it starts to dwindle away if you haven't been doing breathing exercises and you still, ladies, anyway. So the Jing is starts down there in the testicles and the ovaries and all that type of stuff. So when you start breathing or learn how to breathe back into the lower abdomen, you start to learn how to burn that sexual energy off. You start to rise it or raise it. So the sexual energy, Jing, rises to the level of the solar plexus. Now, at the level of the solar plexus, the sexual energy, which you ready to bang something, you ready to, anyway, um, the sexual energy getting to the solar plexus, and we call that chi or qui. Now here, it's a little more refined than just raw sex energy, like raw. I gotta make sure you get that understanding. If you're fine and you're a woman and you in LA somewhere, or you might be coming to LA, we're not supposed to talk about that in the chat. Anyway, so when it gets to the solar plexus, it gets a little more refined. You be like, yeah, and then by the time you get to the solar plexus, you're like, yeah, okay, but I'm in control. I still won't. Anyway, so now it's like chi, just chi coming out. See, chi come out this way, the sexual energy go that way. Sexual energy go down. The Right here in the solar plexus go out. Now, see, unlike Indian yoga, we're not focusing on seven chakras. We got three. That's what these three fingers is about. The sexual energy. Next here in the solar plexus is the what's this one? Chi or Qui, bioelectromagnetism, and then the last, or the top one actually, but it's the last one that you develop, is called Shen, which is consciousness spirit. You understand? In that place you might call the third eye, we actually call the first eye. Again, I deal with science. So if you look at a fetus as it's growing, what you call the first eye might be the pineal gland, but it's actually, well, we're going to get into what's really the first eye. But let's say it's the pineal gland. I used to say, because I say, sometimes I say penile gland, because every time you get excited down there, the pineal gland or pineal gland also gets excited. Did you know that? But anyway, so when the brain and all his nerves and stuff is starting to form when you're a fetus and just starting to be born and you don't know shit from shit yet, the first eye is made, like literally made first. And then the nervous system comes down to these two eyes. So this is the first eye, and these are the first and no, and these are the second and third eyes that you're looking out in the world, because this one looks in the world. So anyway, you have three eyes. So that's all we focus on. The three, um, well, they would call them chakras in India. We call them energy centers. The jing, jing, listen to the sound. Like if you took a spring and smacked it or something, it would go jing. That's that stuff down there. That stuff. And then it changes into chi. So again, it's like um, those of us who teach Tao, we we compare that to water. Look, your sexual energy is like ice. Like ice is the lowest, if you will, form of all your energy. All your energies are put together in the gene and it makes ice. So the ice is hard. The ice is real hard. You don't have a woman. So down there it's like ice. But then when you do some breathing and you do some meditation and start to warm, you put your mind down there, you put your mind down there. Ain't no women around, so you put your mind down there and it starts to vibrate. So it starts to get a little warmer down there. Ooh, it's warm. And then it starts to rise up. So now it's in the solar plexus, the soul, sun, solar plexus, solar plexus. Listen to the word. I didn't make the word up. I didn't make the word up. Solar plexus. Right there, right there. Feel it. Feel it. Where your ribs come together right there, it makes a triangle pointing up. Like this one right here makes a triangle pointing down. And this one makes right here makes a triangle pointing up to your first eye, which gives the brain life because you're breathing. That's where you're breathing and go up that way. All you gotta do is look at your own body. Anyway, so we got Jing. Girl, I will Jing. We got Jing, we got Chi, and we have Shen. Those are the three energies. Now the saka that I do with the two little fingers. This finger, when you was a baby, even before you knew how to talk, if you wanted something, you point with this finger. Nobody taught you, like nobody teach you how to suck on a titty to get milk and nourishment, right? Did somebody say, boy, this is how you take your mother's breastises and your I don't even think people breastfeed anymore, do they? But still, if somebody did, nobody teaches you how to breastfeed. Nobody teaches you how to take this particular finger. You don't do this. You don't do that. You take this particular finger and you point at something. Am I lying? So already attention is connected to this finger. Sexual energy is connected to this finger. This is manifestation. This is attention. Now you see pictures of Jesus, and in Kung Fu they call it the secret sword. These two fingers together, and then we close off the circuit here. So we hit pressure points, da 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 da, with these two fingers. So what the heaven? So I think that was it. I wanted to talk about oh the science of those three moments. Oh, the tray. So that's the last moment. See, I'm just talking off the top of my head. So the last moment is actually Magu. Oh, let's go back a little further before I go into that. The circle actually represents what is called the the microcosmic orbit. Now, in Tao alchemy, we um, intention we imagine the energy, which is a real thing, not just our imagination. We imagine at the tip of the tongue that the chi, the life force, is going down from the tip of the tongue. That's why we put the tip of the tongue to the top of the head. I'm about to tell you why in a second. So we place the tip of the tongue to the roof of the mouth. I place my tip all the way to the back of my throat. So anyway, um, in crazy as people in Hindu yoga, they actually take a child and start cutting out little slivers of the tongue so it would naturally just stay like that as they grow old. Anyway, so the tongue is versatile. I can turn my tongue back and I can place my tongue where I want it. So I place it on the soft palate in the back of my throat. Now I have connected what I'm getting ready to explain to you. So from the tip of the tongue, the chi, life force, goes down the body, down to the groiny area, and then your spine, at the end of your spine is turns up like that. They call it the coccyx. I'm not making this shit up. It is called the coccyx. The little part that sticks out, the hard little bone, coccyx. So anyway, so chi from here, the tip of your tongue, all the way down, and then it goes up into the coccyx, which is the lower part of your spine. So the chi is like going up there, and then you tighten up your asshole. You tighten up your as you're breathing in, pushing the chi, and the chi get pushed up into the coccyx right there, and then the coccyx take it up the spine. So here's going down the front of the body. When I was younger, I used to have a light line. It was lighter than my skin. It was just there. It was there for like till I was like 12 years old. You could see where in that line where the chi was going, and then once it enters the coccyx, up under, goes up under there, and, you know, for a man, it's gonna pass your um, gonads, and for a woman, it's gonna pass, and go up into your coccyx. Then it goes up the spine. So that's what this represents. That's called the microcosmic orbit, up the spine, over the head, to the roof of the mouth is the governing channel. They call that the governing channel. The spine and nervous system and everything controls all your physical stuff. And then it comes down the front of the body. They call that the conception channel or conception vessel. That's the baby, mm, baby. It's summertime, baby. That's the conception vessel. So the two of them are constantly flowing. When they stop flowing, you stop living. You're dead. Simple. So or one of the ideas in Tao alchemy is, well, that flow is it don't stop because you will not be living, or at least you'll be like, you know what I'm saying? So it got to be flowing. But in Tao, we learn how to, because as you get older, you know, shit be slowing up. So breathing, herbs, five tastes of food, etc., etc. I'm going to get into all of that. All of these things keep your chi up to a level, and then that microcosmic orbit stays full as opposed to shrinking as you get older. It stays at the level that you're born with, because the Chinese say that you're born with a certain amount of chi. Not everybody got a whole bunch of chi like Bruce Lee. I'm gonna smash everything, plus I'm gonna read 10,000 books at the same time while I'm beating my. I don't have that type of chi. So here it is. Bam, the tray, which represents also, as far as the martial arts, the knife or spear hand, the three. Oh, we're gonna get into the Bible side of it. That's a whole nother video. Because in the Tao, we call this the three treasures. And in the Bible, you call them the three gifts. So I'm going to get into that as another video. And then this represents the three treasures, Jing, Qi, and Shen, circulating in the microcosmic orbit. Now, once you achieve circulation of the three treasures in the microcosmic orbit, they mix. In this sense, now we're thinking of them kind of like not just energy but fluids mixing in the body, mixing together to create an alchemical fluid. Oh, what you thought we were just gonna smoke weed? This is alchemy. Alchemy is basically the chemistry of the human body, not, oh, I'm gonna get some lead and change it into gold. What kind of alchemy is that? Let me see you do that. Let me see you change lead into gold. Alchemy, real life alchemy, is about learning correct or how to breathe more, how to in Tao learn how the five elements of foods, blah 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 blah. Everything I'm going to talk about. So anyway, where was I? So now this is the tray metal that represents the tray that Margu has her elixir of immortality on. So first we make the wheel. Excuse me. First we make the shield, then we make the wheels, then we make the tray, put it to the heart, say the words Magu Zian Sho. That's that's those words right there, Magu Zian Sho, in the Chinese that we made up, whole nother story. And then I translated divine, which is actually the name, not just Cannabis Kung-Fu, but divine, which is actually gu. But you know, Chinese is different from the way we talk. So ma is marijuana, gu is divine. So we say divine marijuana, fu means kung fu. So divine marijuana brings immortality. That's part of the subject because when she brought the elixir of immortality to the immortals and the sages and the saints and all that gather every 800 years on Mount Kunlun. Kunlun um, at first meant small, magical black people. And then after Arab slavery came into China, they changed the meaning of Kunlun into um, devil black people or something like that. I have the book. I don't make this shit up. So anyway, so there's a whole mountain range called Kunlun Mountain Range, and this is where Mahagu was supposed to bring the elixir of immortality and give it to an immortal. Now, when the immortals and sages and stuff tasted this um, marijuana wine, because that's what it was, mixed with other herbs, that's how we do it anyway. They was like, wow, this stuff is good, dude. Yo, you are an immortal. You come back here every 800 years. And so that book right there is about the adventures of Magu. It's not like learning the Bible, but that is, say, the spirituality of our temple. If you go to Shaolin, your spirituality would be Buddhism. You gotta believe in some fat, bald headed guy. If that's what you want, if that turns you on. And no meat, no women, no, you know, you know, know a lot of stuff. No women. Anyway, and but the Tao is about balance. Yin and yang. Everything is about balance. You still get married, you still can have women, but we have practices like um, keeping the sperm within your own body as opposed to keep on spilling it, and then by the time you're my age, you're like, I wonder what happened to my life. You spilt it all over the place. So we still can make love. I can still make love. Can I say that in the chat? I can still make love, baby. But I'm gonna keep my stuff to myself. You understand? So everything's about balance. It's not about healing the body with a diet. It's about not getting sick in the first place because you're eating from the five tastes, and each of the five tastes have a different reaction to the different stuff in the body. The stomach, the liver is over here. The stomach is over here. The kidneys are, they have salty. The kidneys are salty. The lungs is pungent or hot. The heart is sour. Believe it or not. No, not sour. I'm sorry. I apologize. I'm not sorry. The heart is bitter. Um, they don't really count the stomach as a organ. It's actually the pancreas, which interacts with the stomach. The stomach itself is considered just like a holding place for your food, and then it's the pancreas that sends out its stuff to do stuff to the food, blah 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 blah. So, but that's the sweet taste, and I think I said the kidneys are salty. So each of those tastes, and the way you know it's real, the lungs is hot taste. Get you some hot peppers, especially if you have some mucus or something in your lungs. Eat you a hot pepper. I'm not talking about hot off the stove hot. I'm talking about the taste hot, like burning your tongue hot. And watch what happens to all the mucus. If it's really hot, tears gonna come out. You'll be like, and all the garbage in your lungs gonna be coming out and shit. Yeah, you're gonna find out that food really can affect the body. I mean, like that, not no 5 days down the road. So if you're eating regular like this and keeping the organs energized, blah, 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 breathing correctly back down into the lower abdomen, things like that. These are natural things. In other words, is you might have to re-practice breathing. You're probably breathing up here in the upper chest. You might have to re-practice learning how to breathe like a baby. Look at a baby before they're 7 years old. They breathing down in the lower abdomen. Just look at them, and then don't force anything. Try to get your breath back down into the lower abdomen, and then after a while, it becomes natural. You don't have to practice breathing in the lower abdomen. Like now, I don't really have to practice anymore. My breathing is naturally back into my lower abdomen, which burns up the sexual energy, which circulates the sexual energy throughout my body. And I'm still here. Ouch, I forgot I got Kung Fu hands too. So you know what I'm saying? I'm 68 years old. I'm still here. I had two operations in my life. I'm still here. Now, the people that laughed at me when I was younger and first taking up Tai Chi, you taking that Kung Fu? Yes, I'm taking Kung Fu. Now they like, I wish I would have did that Kung Fu with you, because I would have my hips instead of them being replaced by metal joints and bullshit like that. Lordy, Lordy, Lordy. So anyway, I just wanted to really just explain what I'm saying is that's to me is a part of science. I guess geometry, the shield in front of you. See, when in Tai Chi you learn to move slow, and then after a while, the slow movements is so natural you can do it fast. So that's the shield. This is the wheel, and this is the tray. Oh, I didn't show the technique for the tray. Grab. There's a tray in here. Now, I said, I also added the plate because in Tai Chi we go from shoulder to shoulder, shoulder to shoulder. That way, right? Or this way. But we also go from shoulder to shoulder to hip to hip to shoulder, shoulder, hip, hip. So I call that, because that's on a slant. Hip, shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip, shoulder, hip. Somebody's punching you, you grab it and pull it down, and then turn it around and pull it that way or up or down, whatever you want to do. And I also forgot the gyro. So this is the shield, this is the wheel, this is what I said, the plate up here, or the tray up here, and then the plate this way, and then the gyro is protecting the head this way or this way. I had to come up with how the heaven, because we have 3 dimensions, right? This is the 3 dimensions. That's what I keep saying, science. This is the 3 dimensions. I'm like, what would this one be? How do I get this in there? A gyro. You know what a gyro is. So somebody's probably you bring it up and over and block your head. And my fist is always turning. I just don't bring it up. You understand? And we hardly ever want this open, so the hearing is here. I'm gonna get into the actual usages, usages, usages of the techniques outside. So I'm gonna do these long videos, and then I'm going to get into the algorithms of the YouTube, which is about 12 minutes. So after I do all these explaining videos, now we are finally ready to get into the actual 64 movements of I Ching Chuan, or the classic of changes boxing.